Hello everyone, this is Dan Gramza and welcome to dangramza.com Market Studies for Thursday, November 7th. What we see is a big day up here in the S&P as a result of the presidential election. So we see a very enthusiastic market response to the Trump election. But what I call this is a presidential anticipation trade. I mean, the president is not Trump, so he's not going to have impact until January. But we're seeing the anticipation of what that election means. So is it maintainable? That's the question when you see this kind of momentum. Now, we do have fundamentals coming out on Thursday. We have the Fed coming out with their announcement. That could stimulate the market. But do we look for another day like this? No. So I'd say nothing telling us to be a seller, but you want to be cautious here as the market unfolds over the next few days. But you and I will be exploring that. Let's take a look at these other indices, and you're going to see something very similar. So the NASDAQ market, the Dow, the Russell, these stock indices are creating technically uptrend type markets. Now let's look at the other side. Let's look at what happens when we look at what's going on with the currency. And here you can see in the euro, it fell out of bed. And the dollar difference between the sell and buy level, $287.50. This issue has an impact now we're going to see in commodities. So the euro, the Swissy, all these different markets. Let's go back to what we see here with the Canadian dollar. Also breaking to the downside. You saw nothing but red candles. Now that puts pressure on commodities. And before we look at that, you can see what happened with Bitcoin. Off to the races, to here with both hands, but don't look for the same kind of move when it comes to Thursday's action. Now, let's take another look at what's happening in these commodities. Silver fell out of bed. Stronger dollar has an influence here. If we look at what's happening with, well, wait a minute. Let's go back and talk about copper. Copper also fell out of bed as the dollar gets stronger. Remember, these commodities are priced in dollars. If the dollar is stronger, these become more expensive in that regard. So it has an impact on that. Stronger dollar in this case, for this market to compensate for that, it goes lower in prices. Dollar difference between the sell and buy level there, just to give you a reference, is $1,250 a contract. Silver, we saw the same thing. Crude oil breaks to the downside, bounces right back up, and that's for a couple different reasons. One, we have a hurricane headed in the Gulf, and there may be some changes in the Iran production in terms of sanctions when Trump takes office. We're seeing some of the anticipation again for that kind of behavior. And when it comes to corn, it also firmed up. Dollar difference here, $150 a contract. I do not look for the same size of move tomorrow, but unchanged to higher would be expected. Well, those are my thoughts for today. Thank you for joining me. Look forward to being with you again tomorrow. In the meantime, take care.